Hi, I'm Dr. Cathy Kirkland with Beautifully Broken Counseling, and this YouTube is going to be called Advice for Life with Dr. Cathy. There's going to be several of these different videos. There's going to be this one, which is Advice for Life. Then our daughter will be doing Hannah's Kids Corner, and she has some amazing things that she wants to teach children. And then my husband will be doing All Things Bible with Dr. Todd. He's been a pastor for 25 years. He has read the Bible through this year 30 times, and he is amazing at the Bible. He can quote scriptures like I've never seen anyone do, and he can answer so many questions, and he will help us along that way. And then there will be a segment called Happy Home, and we will just do some fun things with our family. We have a unique situation that we will share later with you as to how we became a family. So I'm just going to give you today some introduction to some of the education and the credentialing that I have, so that you can maybe find some trust that I have studied, so that I know some things. I don't know everything, but there are some things that I did study, and I have had a long journey of learning. I am not proud in a way that's prideful. I am proud in a way that I know that God did this for me. He helped me through it. There's a lot of things I'll share with you that will kind of clear that up for you. But I started off out of high school. I wanted to go to college. I didn't know why, really. I thought I wanted to be someone who sang, and I had been allowed to do a good bit of that with the Southern Baptists, and traveled, and some mission trips. And at one time I did have a concert ministry that I did revivals, and I had a good time doing that. But I got my associate's degree from North Greenville College in South Carolina. And then I found out really hard that if you hit the snooze button too many times, that you will actually fail a class. So I had one of those 8 o'clock classes, and the teacher said, "I'm going to fail you because of absences." And I said, "Please don't fail me. I will do anything. I will be here every morning with bells on." And she said, "Okay." So I did that. I did everything that was required. And at the end of the class, she still failed me. And so I asked her, I said, "You said you would let me back in. You said you would let me, you wouldn't fail me." She said, "I never said I wouldn't fail you. I told you I would let you back in." So she taught me a valuable life lesson about being on time. And I still live by that one today. So I'm very grateful for that teacher that taught me a hard lesson instead of trying to make it easy for me. And then I went on to Charleston Southern University, which was known as Baptist College of Charleston. And I got a BA degree there in religion, a minor in English, and I had a good time there. After that bachelor's degree, I said, "I'm done." I didn't do that well. Honestly, I just was not a student. I liked being with friends too much. I wasn't a partier, but I was social. So I just didn't do as well as I could have. But I worked hard, but it just wasn't my thing. So I went all the way till age 43. I had been in banking, I had been in collections, accounts receivable, accounting things, all of these things, and I had learned a lot. I had done very well in that. But something was tugging at me, because even at Walmart, people would come up and want to talk to me. And so I thought this was strange, but at the same time, it was sort of natural because it had always happened to me. I would be in a gas station and a little child would just come up and put their hand in my hand, and I wouldn't see any parents. And I would just start a conversation with this child, and I'd find out that this child didn't know where their mom was. And so they thought I looked safe. And then their mom found them and found me, and we were able to get them to safety. Just strange occurrences like that something was going on. I could be sitting in a park, and a stranger would just come up and say, I really need to talk to somebody. Will you listen? And so those kind of things kind of caught my attention as to what is God up to. So after a while, I went to my husband and I said, "Would you please let me quit my job and go back to school and get my master's degree? I think I want to be a counselor." And I was shocked, but he said yes. He said, "Yes, let's do it." And it wasn't an easy decision. It wasn't like something that we had money in the bank and we could just make this work. We had to struggle, and we had to have, we had to sacrifice to make this happen. But he was willing to do it because he wanted my dreams to come true. He's my best friend. That's why we have a happy home too. But anyway, so I said, please, and I need to go and be in a classroom. That is the only way I'm going to succeed. And so we decided on Trevecca. So I went to Trevecca and I had the interview. Well, it was very obvious that I was not a good student, and I had been out of school a long time. And here I was asking to get into a master's program. It was a shot in the dark. And I thought, well, here it is. I'm going to get shot down, and I've already quit my job, and here we go. But there was a lady there, and she said, I know this doesn't look like a good possibility, but I see something in her. So let's give her academic probation and see what happens. Well, I was not going to throw that chance away. And I found that studying was actually easier than it had ever been. I had life lessons now. And so I began to ace my classes. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the interaction. I was most of the time older than anyone in the class, even some of the teachers. But that's what it was. So I went through Trevecca, and then about a year and a half into my master's, I found out I was pregnant for the first time ever. In 20 years of marriage, I was told I could not have a child, and I found out I was pregnant. So here I am with no job, no insurance, in a master's program, and I'm about to have a baby. So I was shocked. God, what are you up to? This is amazing, but what am I going to do about this? So he took care of me through that pregnancy. I had no setbacks. And because I had no setbacks, within 6 weeks, I was back in class after giving birth. And so I finished my master's, and then I had to decide, what kind of counselor am I going to be? And I started doing some research, and I found out that you could be a licensed pastoral counselor, but it took a lot more education. This was disheartening, but God just kept working on me, and I thought it was worth it. Basically, after my master's, I was going to be going through seminary. And then after that, I said I would be done. So actually, in my, I came up with a lot more knowledge than I ever expected. And I hold several advanced certificates, one in temperament assessment, one in crisis and abuse, one domestic violence, one death and grief. I'm what's called a licensed clinical pastoral counselor. I am a clinical member of the National Christian Counseling Association. I'm an ordained chaplain in South Carolina, and I am also ordained as a pastoral counselor from the National Christian Counseling Church. And I went on to get my PhD, and even though I had a baby and a full-time pastor's wife, and God allowed me to open up a practice, He gave me the name of Beautifully Broken Counseling. That will all come out later as to how that happened. But I just wanted to introduce myself today and say hi, and I hope that you will send me some questions that we can address on this channel. And my email is Cathy.Kirkland2081@gmail.com, and that's CATHY.Kirkland, KIRKLAND@gmail.com. Or you can subscribe to this channel and do it that way. I also have a web address. It's www.beautifullyBrokenCounseling.com. And if you are in need a counselor, Beautifully Broken Counseling is a wonderful place of safety and hope. And if you would like a welcome packet, you can text 615-332-4389 and say, please send me a welcome packet, and I will send that right away to you. So thank you, and have a blessed day.